Hi guys, Candia here with Simply Candia and the Age Journal. I'm back with part 2 of the series of doing a hardback book and sewing straight into the spine. So we had a couple people say that remember would be a nice word for this journal. So my friend had a stamp that said remember when, so we thought that that would be a really pretty thing for the front of this journal. So I already glued the paper to the label, and we're ready to glue it down to the book. And I'm going to use E6000 since this is a piece of metal. And let me get this open here. It's like glued shut, so it's hard to get open. Dig out a little bit of the glue so that I can come out. And so we're going to glue, and as you can see I did a bad stamp, so I just flipped it over and stamped again. So we're going to get some glue, if we can get some glue out here. Get this glued down and let it sit and rest for a while we're working on other stuff. Okay, I think I got enough glue there. Make sure I get it right side up. And we're just going to pop it on here. And I got a little glue on the book. Let's just wipe it off before it dries. Make sure this is straight. Does that look straight to me? And we're going to set this aside to dry some. And while we're letting that dry, we're going to work on our signatures. Now, I picked out papers, got our signatures started prepping. I'm going to cover each signature with a pretty design paper, but the rest of the papers on the inside are vintage papers that I found in my treasure hunting. So this is the size of the book that the papers need to be. The rest are all smaller. So they're 6 3/4 by 10 inches is what the book needed. But I didn't have a bunch of papers that size. So we're just filling in with papers that are the size that they are. So it has a bunch of different page sizes and bunch of different paper types, which are all vintage papers. As you can see, it's going to have lots of writing in it. Some onion skin paper, some letterhead paper, more letterhead paper, some graph paper, and in the center is going to be an envelope for storage. And as you can see, I stenciled on it and added this invitation to the center to make another pocket. And I got this in my travels or treasure hunting travels. And we're going to prep So 3 of my signatures are going to have that, and we're going to prep this signatures, the last one that has the center, the thing in the center, so that I'm going to prep the last one with you guys so you can see. So it starts out with a white envelope, and I didn't feel like tea-dyeing it to make it age, so there's other options that you can do to age an envelope, and that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to start by inking our edges with coffee dye ink. So let's make sure I got it first of all. I didn't get it folded even, so I'm going to straighten it up, and I'm going to take my bone folder and even it up a little bit there. Okay, so then we're just going to ink up our edges with coffee, and then we're going to use this stencil. You can use any stencil you have that you like the pattern of, and we're going to ink up the whole envelope with that stencil, and that will give some color to the paper so that it doesn't look so stark white, and it can age it up a little bit with the coffee dye ink. And you can use a stencil that's a little bit more vintage looking than this one is if you're going for a real vintage look. But this is the one I decided to use because I liked the pattern and thought it was a fun pattern. Just geometric shapes. And what I did with these envelopes is on this side, so that I can have another pocket, is I cut the end off. So that way there's a pocket on this side as addition to the pocket on this side when it's in the journal. And then we'll have this on here with a pocket, and then we'll find something to make a pocket on this side. And I'll probably do a pocket on this side so that there's lots of pockets on this. So we just ink it up. And right now I'm going to leave this seal on here because I don't want to seal it up until I figure out what I want to do to that strip to make it so the steel is not sticky. I'm probably going to stick a piece of paper over it of some sort, or some sort of decorative like strip here. But in the meantime, I'm just going to leave that on there so that way I'm not accidentally sealing the envelope closed. Okay, and we're just about done here, and then we'll move on to the stencil. Okay, so we're just going to take the stencil and we're going to set it on here like so, and we're going to hold on to it and ink the whole envelope up. And we don't have to get perfect inking on the whole thing. I think the beauty of it is having it be inked up differently. You just want to try and get ink on the whole envelope. Some spots will be darker than other spots, and I think that is a-okay. And I think that's what makes it beautiful, is having some spots darker than other spots. And I'm going to get up onto the lip of the envelope, so that way if I don't cover the whole thing up when I take the seal off, I will have the design there as well. And doing this though with these things really shreds up your ink pads. It's the only downfall with inking on a stencil like this. So maybe use up an old ink pad that you are ready to throw away anyways. Okay, and we're just about done here. And I want to move it over just a hair so I can make sure and get all of this. There we go. Okay, so we're done with the stencil. So I'm going to set it aside. And then we're going to ink up this as well. Now, I actually think I might ink up the designer pages on the inside because they're all white. And I don't feel like tea dyeing those either. This is just a few things in this project that need tea dyed, and that I would normally tea dye, and since there's such a small amount to tea dye, I don't feel like breaking out all the equipment to do that just for a few little pieces. So this is a really good option to do instead of tea dyeing. So I think I'm going to pick a different stencil for those though. So I have this one, this paper, this paper, this paper, this paper, and this paper. So let's see which stencil. So I keep my stencils in a big binder ring. And as you can see, I've gotten a few new stencils lately, so that I need to put in the binder ring. So I'm wanting a big stencil. Maybe that, or maybe the chevrons. Actually, let's do the chevrons. It's a nice big stencil. And I'm not wanting to get this perfect again. Just wanting to get a little bit of color on the page to break up the white. Just like that. Nothing too substantial, just a little bit. This paper actually already has some color to it, but I still am going to add a little bit of stenciling to it. It has the black coming through from the black and white flowers. But a little bit of inking looks real pretty on it. There we go. Next one done. So again, just makes it look a little less white and gives a little something to the pages. And I'm not trying to get like complete coverage of the stencil. I'm just trying to get a little bit here and there. And then our last page. So I get this in here, and this is our page with our envelope. So we're going to put this in here, and we're going to glue this down. And we're gonna just make a cute little pocket with this. Add some color to the envelopes again, so that they're not just this stark white envelope. Okay, and try and just get it even on there. And I think that that stencil looks really pretty with this this envelope and that stencil behind it. It looks really pretty. And then we just pop this in there and close it up. And there we go. Now let's wipe this off so that way we can work without all these little fuzzy things on here. From the whatchamacallit, the pad, the ink pad. There we go. Now, what we're going to do with the book today is try and get the signatures into the book. So I've prepped the spine. We prepped it last time when we did the first video by gluing the Mod Podging the fabric to the spine, so it keeps it nice and sturdy for us to adhere or sew the signatures to it. And then I took a piece of grid paper and cut it down to fit in to the spine block. And I have a video on how I do this specifically. It's from my cardboard journal, cereal box journal series, and I will link in the description box below the signature rewind that I did on a detailed tutorial on doing a spine and putting your signatures in, so that if you need slower down instructions on doing this, because I will work kind of fast on this since I already have showed you guys how to do this. If you need the slowed down step-by-step instructions on doing this, that you can watch that. So we again have put a T on the top and an F and a B for front and back. So, and then I counted out and measured, found the middle, and then did 10 spaces up from the top and the bottom. And this book size allows me to have 5 signatures, so that's how why I circled 5 holes. So we're going to go ahead and poke our holes. We're just going to meet up at the 2 lines to poke our holes in the center of the circles. And we're going to use up any pokey tool you have. It can be a Tim Holtz pokey tool. This happens to be Lake City Crafters USA pokey tool, and I found it in the paper scrolling section. I like it because it's a little bit thinner than the Tim Holtz one, and I like to have a little bit thinner of a tool as you can see, it's a little bit thinner. Careful not to poke your fingers. I'm holding mine away from where I'm poking through at, but I'm still giving support to the book. Okay, so we got that all done. Those all poked, all nice and straight up and down, and they are all good in the journal, in the back of the book, all nice and straight there. So we have that ready to go and ready to add our signatures in. So when we work with our signatures, we're going to work from the back to the front. That's how I always work. And so let's see here. Is how I want my signatures to be. Let me make sure everything is right side up. Because I don't want to pull out my signatures and have to re-sew them in again. So it's always good to make sure everything's the correct direction. Yep, everything's right side up. So here's the back signature. So we're going to start from the back and work towards the front. So we're going to take this and we're going to fold it over on the line that has the last signature on it. And we're going to take our pack here and we are going to clip in our clips and secure it. And then we're going to take our signature block paper and we're going to secure it or center it right side up. So this is the top and we want to have it at the top, not at the bottom. And we're going to center it because it's a little bit longer than the signature is. So, and then we're going to clip it on. Then we're going to poke our holes, and I always start in the center. I just find that easiest, and we're going to close the signature up and poke through, and this helps us make sure we come right through to the center of the spine. There we go. We got our first one done. So we'll take the signature block paper out and then we're going to sew this into our journal. And since we have lots of black in our cover, I thought it would be fun to use some black thread. And we'll get our sewing needles. Let's see here. Here, I guess I'll use that one. Or so this I get at Walmart. It's Dritz craft needles, and they have the blunted bookbinding needles in here. So if you're having a hard time finding bookbinding needles, this set is a great little find, and it's only like $1. So let's take our thread, and how I do it is I leave it on the spool so that I waste less thread, and I line it up on here, leaving extra on the end. And then we go through the center, and we go to the last set of holes on the spine, and we pull the thread through. I'm losing my thread here. That's why you want to make sure you leave a little extra on the end so that way you're not losing it. And then we go down to the bottom. And pop our needle through the book spine. And then we come through, and then we pop it through the signature. It's easier to do one at a time than trying to do both at the same time. If you try to do both at the same time, you'll just be frustrated. Super frustrated. And sometimes if you don't get it all the way through the whole set of signatures, like I'm doing right now, you just come through what you got it through and then take it through the rest. And there we go. And then you take the clips off, tighten up what you got here, and tie it together and get it tightened up inside the hole of the center, and tie it in a knot 3-4 times. And you can leave it long and have some dangles if you want, or you can cut it short. It's your preference. But you can dangle some beads, you can do some little die cuts if you leave it long, however you want to do it. And there we have it. We have our first signature in. And there we go. Now let's get the rest in. Pop those babies in. Okay. So again, we're going to fold this over to the next line of holes. And then we're going to center the spine block because it's too long. And then we're going to attach that down. Oh, and I got it upside down again. So let's try that again. Get it centered. And we're going to punch our holes in the center, right where we punched the holes through before. And then we're going to take those off and we're going to sew it back in again. And I'm going to get the rest of these sewn in and I'll be right back. Okay, so here I am back sewing in the last signature, and then we'll be done getting all the signatures in the book. And that is how you get sew in signatures to straight into a book cover. It's as simple as that. It's pretty much the same, very similar to sewing into a cereal box. So you just want to reinforce the spine with some either the Hardback or some fabric. And then after I have the signatures in, I cover the outside with some lace or some fabric that coordinates with the front of the journal. And that's what we're going to do with this journal. But I haven't picked anything out yet, so I'm not sure what I'm going to put on the front of this. So there we have it. As you can see, it's not quite full yet because we haven't decorated it out yet, but it is all sewn in. It looks really nice, and the signatures are all evenly spaced with the linen showing through in between. And they're spaced out between the top and the bottom nicely, all even, and that's because of using the graph paper. And our envelopes are in here in the center of the signature on 3 of the signatures, and they look just great. And we just have to add more to them, and we have lots of pockets for filling up with them, in addition to all the tuck spots and pockets we're going to be adding to it. So that's it for this time. It is a continued work in progress, and next time we'll get on to decorating and covering the spine after I find what I want to cover it with. And I hope you guys have a great day and are working on your own journals and will be ready to decorate with me with your journal the next time we get back together next week. So I'll see you then, and if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe and share my channel with your friends. Have a great day. Bye.